During the spring semester of my freshman year of college, which I spent at home because of the pandemic, I filmed a collection of panoramas from my favorite hikes in Colorado. And although over a year has now passed since I moved to Boston, I've been slowly editing together the clips at times when I felt nostalgic for home. These trails represent really special places to me, and by sharing them online, I hope I'll be able to always look back and relive the nature scenery I grew up with. Starting off, Stratton Open Space is one of my favorite places to visit at the cusp of summertime when there is a whole lot of bright green lining Cheyenne Canyon. The trail is intermixed with pretty views of the Front Range, along with the urban sprawl of my hometown, Colorado Springs. In places like these, it's super fun to perch somewhere spontaneously and try to make out the location of local landmarks. The first time I visited, I was surprised to find out how many wildflowers there are in the area, which look almost like they're bobbing up and down in the wind. Climbing up higher in elevation, there's a hidden gem called Knoll-Willows open space in the mountain town Estes Park. Even though the area as a whole is one of the more touristed parts of the state, I'd only visited there for the first time when this video was filmed. But despite being new to the park, I really loved the landscape. I saw a bunch of deer and elk wandering around, and the mossy look of the stone this far north feels very distinctive from what I'm used to in my drier hometown. Outside of Knoll-Willows, I also got the chance to go disc golfing in Estes Park and was surprised at how many aspens were sprinkled around. Lined against the backdrop of spruce trees, aspens create for a beautiful checkerboard of light and dark green. Heading southwest, my family once stumbled across an overlook called Transfer Trail while making our way out of a local hot springs. The vantage point from the meandering roads up there is breathtaking and offers a spacious view of the surrounding valleys. Some of the mountains in Glenwood Springs even seem to have this characteristic red tint, and as you enter the city along the Colorado River, there are dramatic canyons on either side. And along Transfer Trail, it's fun to peek through the flurry of tree branches and uncover pockets of the city underneath. Having a 360 panorama like that let us appreciate different offshoots of the mountain range in a way that we might not have otherwise. Shifting closer to home is Palmer Lake Reservoir, which makes for a very peaceful and tranquil stroll through a series of staggered mountain lakes. Whether finding random wetlands or secluded ice caves, there's so much to explore in the area. I could honestly stare at the water in the reservoir for hours. It has a blue turquoise tint to it that is really colorful. And when it's raining, the drops of water create little ripples all across the lake. With almost no noise pollution at all, I've always wanted to bring a hammock with me and nap as the day breezes by there. Compared to the last hike, Fox Run feels a little more like you're in the thick of the forest. As you walk through, you're hit with an intense pine aroma that is honestly so aromatic. It's the kind of hike I feel is perfect for wandering through at a leisurely pace. And since there's shady patches of dirt cast by the ponderosas all over, the trail is great for picnicking. On top of that, there's a whole lot of detail in the bark of each tree, and the flickering of the pine needles in the wind adds to the atmosphere of the hike. All told, across deep canyons and tranquil mountain rivers, Colorado in springtime has a charm that's hard to describe. I have no clue where college will ultimately take me, but I hope someday each of these trails will draw me back like a compass needle pointing home. Thanks so much for watching.